You regularly make new friends. You spend a lot of time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. No. You often make a backup plan for backup. No. You usually stay calm, even under a lot of pressure. Hell yeah, brother. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Kind of. Oh, goodness, I'm only 10% done. What do you get if you just click the middle on everything? I'm ISPA A. I don't think that's in Football Manager. So you might know that personalities exist in Football Manager. If you don't, welcome to the channel. My name's Zealand. It's really nice to meet you. The personalities determine a ton about a player. A good personality can mean that a player's going to develop like crazy. A bad personality can prevent a player from reaching their potential. If they have perfect potential and a terrible personality, the personality wins. Because what determines a personality is a collection of hidden attributes, and it's all explained in this video. And those hidden attributes make up the personality that kind of translates the numbers of the game into something you would experience in real life. Personalities can also affect banal things like how much money somebody wants in a contract negotiation. See, they can just kind of keep going here and it gets absolutely insane. Whether they want to join your club or not, or whether they're going to get annoyed about something you said in a team meeting or not. But what Kane has done, one of our illustrious mods, Kane, beautiful lad, has put together a tier list for all the personalities, so I can no longer run from the question, what is the best personality, what's the worst personality, and what do I think of the personality of your particular player that you asked about in the DMs for 50 freaking times? Sorry, I just needed a moment. And without further ado, oh yeah, that was a good one. Here we go. Ambitious. You might think it's good, and it does help improve their training rating, improve their competitiveness. It also improves their desire to move to bigger and better clubs and ask for more money and all those sorts of things. And because of those detractors, I'm actually going to put ambitious right in the middle because it is something that helps you in a competitive setting, and it also hurts you in terms of your team building and contract negotiation. So right in the middle, nothing there. Balanced. Just because I hate balanced, it tells you absolutely nothing. And Football Manager puts balanced on a load of players at the beginning of the game because they don't want to get sued for some sort of defamation. So you put balanced on a player just because you either don't know what their personality is or you don't want to say. Are the lawsuits watching? Are they watching me? Born leader. Born leader sounds super amazing, and good leadership is honestly a reason that a lot of young teams fail when you're building those wonder kid types of teams, but it's not actually a ridiculously good one. We're going to go ahead and throw it in the A tier. I like how it says for the FM Senpai, Bate Beast, etc., etc. Kane, way to really put the effort in there. I appreciate that. It's not good enough for a super tier, but it's definitely an A tier personality, because how could you hate on Born Leader? It's just high leadership and determination. It's also kind of useless because it doesn't tell you anything else about anything else. Next is Casual. Now, Casual is one of those regen or new gen only personalities. If you don't play into more than 3 or 4 years of a save, it actually isn't relevant. It is terrible, though. It means you have awful professionalism, which, as I've chronicled before, professionalism is the best hidden attribute in the game. Casual is no. Charismatic leader goes right into the middle because it's just cool. It's a B level attribute. It has some advantages, but it's not really. You're not signing a guy because they're a charismatic leader. Then we have Determined, which you guys know I'm going to kind of hate on, but Determined does have some effect in the way that they play on the field, as well as having some effect on development. It does have a trackable effect on development, just not nearly as much as professionalism, but more than ambition. And thusly, I believe Determined deserves a solidly B tier rating as something that can help you and is not to be considered a bad personality by any stretch of the imagination, but it doesn't tell you a lot because you can already see determination. Now, if we take Driven, which is like an extreme amount of determination over anything else, then look, determination isn't completely useless. I made a video called Determination Doesn't Matter to get the point across that it's not the most important thing for developing players. That doesn't mean that it is bad or completely useless. It's not. It affects a ton of different facets of the game, behind the scenes and on the field. It's worth having. Next up is Easily Discouraged. If you've never seen this one, that's because it's also a regen, new gen only personality, and doesn't bode very well for a couple of things. One, your ambition is bad, which can actually be a good thing on a wonder kid that you're trying to hold on to, but your determination is completely non-existent, which is never a great thing, and your professionalism is also not great. There's just a couple of reasons that easily discouraged is terrible, but it's not an absolute in the bin. You cannot possibly succeed with this sort of thing. It is certainly not easy to succeed with, and you need a strong team around somebody like that, and ideally you would be able to develop the player over time and get rid of it. We have fairly determined, which is an incredible dude, I hate this personality so much because it tells you nothing. You can see determination, and fairly determined is not enough determination for it to be like woohoo, like you're not telling me much. I'm getting nothing from that. Fairly loyal's the same way. Bends. This tells me nothing except for loyalty, and it's not even extreme versions of loyalty. It's like, cool. They won't want to leave for PSG again and again. Where were we? Fairly professional. You know I love professionalism. If you get a fairly professional, you already know that they're working with the sauce, they're working with the magic, they're cooking something up. Chef Curry in the spot. Fairly sporting. Weird thing that we discovered when we were doing the experiments is that higher sportsmanship actually leads to you being more likely to winning awards, which cool. The thing about fairly sporting is it actually does tell you about a lot of different attributes, because it means that your professionalism isn't great, your ambition isn't great, and so it's not something that you look at and you go, wow, I'm really happy he's fairly sporting. It doesn't mean anything great, other than the fact that when he knocks somebody down, he'll pick him back up and be really nice to people. At least it's informative, so I'm giving it some credit for that. It's not in the bin. Then we have honest, which is like perfect sportsmanship. And it means that you don't have literally zero professionalism, but other than that, it's not telling you anything else other than the fact that this person is a beacon of humanity. This is the type of person that if they touched the ball last and it went out and the ref got the call wrong, they would go to the ref and be like, hey, that went out off me. And then the whole stand would just stand up and start applauding, and he would just get carried away. It's like that commercial. You know what I mean. That's who this person is. And whatever, it's a B. It's not something you run into all the time. I'll put it in the B category because it's not, sportsmanship doesn't hurt, and it's not telling us much about anything else. Then we have iron-willed, which is not something you run into a lot, because what you need to be iron-willed is a perfect ability to handle pressure. This is your ability to handle big matches, which is freaking awesome. I love this. I've never had an iron-willed player, but I just know what it is, and it goes into the super category, because your ability to handle pressure makes you such a valuable player. You know you are going to get the best version of this player when the lights are on that you could possibly get. And I gotta be honest, that means a lot to me. Then we have jovial, which I'm gonna grab and put into the I'm put it in the B category because it means your pressure is actually pretty good, but it caps things like your professionalism at about halfway up, and it caps your determination about 3/4 of the way up, right? But your temperament is good, and your ability to handle pressure is at least pretty good if you're jovial. And so there's some upsides, but not necessarily on the developmental side. It's okay. Low determination is, look, the meme is I hate determination, but I'm not just going to throw this in the super category for gigs, right? You have low determination, it just means you have low determination. It tells you a few things of very wide ranges on other attributes, like your professionalism isn't literally all the way on the floor, but other than that, you don't know. It's not very informative. You can already see determination, and no attribute moves faster than determination. So if you want to fix this, you just have a determined team and put this person in it. So it's not the worst thing in the world and wouldn't prevent me from signing somebody. Leader. Honestly, who cares? If you are lighthearted, your temperament, sportsmanship, and actually your pressure are all pretty darn good, but there is a high cap on professionalism with lighthearted as well. But there's actually really no reason to hate on lighthearted. It's telling you that a couple of different aspects of the game are pretty good, and I would consider a lighthearted player the type of person that I would be a little more interested in signing based off knowing that. Loyal. I'm not trying to sign a dog, but it's not terrible. They take lower contracts. Cool. Then we have low self-belief. This is something that would prevent me from signing a player. That means they have absolutely awful pressure rating, which is their ability to handle pressure, which is kind of important in professional sports. The next two are model citizen, which means you are a god at everything, and model professional, which means your professionalism is absolutely tremendous, which makes you awesome. And then perfectionist, which also goes into the super category, because the only issue with perfectionist is that your temperament's a little off and you're kind of a jackwagon. Outside of that, everything else is fantastic, and all three of those are to me an immediate sign if I see that. All three, which means they go right in the tippy top. And so does professional, honestly. If you're giving me this kind of indication on the level of professionalism of a player, which is really good at this point, I'm gonna sign the person because they have very high likelihood that they're gonna be able to reach their potential. But that's your super tier right there. I know we just wind sprinted it, but like those are all the ones that I'm like, if I see it, yeah, I'm gunning. Realist is one of those that doesn't tell you anything, but it also makes them like a terrible sport. Like I'll just go ahead and put it in the C tier, which I'm kind of using for the Then there's resilient, which means you actually have a really good pressure rating, which honestly, if I see resilient and I'm looking at a player that I want to step into the first team right away, it doesn't tell you anything about development, but it is good. Pressure is important. Then resolute, which sets a cap on your pressure. Like it can be pretty good, but not great. But it also means that you have good professionalism. So for development, if you see resolute, money. Slack, absolutely huge reason to not sign somebody. It means their professionalism is actually terrible. I mean, like bottom 0-1 sort of range. That is hard to recover from. And then spineless is the same thing for pressure. Get in the bin. Then there's spirited, which is kind of the same as resolute. It lets you know that there is above average professionalism in this individual, and it also lets you know that there's some good pressure. It is capped, like you can't be an outrageously good high professionalism player and be spirited, but above average we'll take, especially when we know it confirmed. Then there's sporting, which I always seem to confuse with spirited. That's like, okay, you have excellent sportsmanship. Jordan Henderson. Move along. Temperamental sucks because it means that professionalism is in the lower half of the range, and it also means they're super annoying to deal with. But since it's giving you some information, I want to put it in C. I don't know why. They're the spice of life. Unambitious tells you that they don't have very good ambition. It doesn't give you a lot of other information on anything important, which means that I don't actually loathe unambitious. It's not something that will prevent me from signing somebody because it does, of course, make them easier to sign and retain. And ambition is not something that we found to have a significant correlation with the ability to reach potential. It can affect your ability to produce positive training ratings and those other things, but there were no statistical correlations with ambition and your ability to actually achieve your potential. So with that in mind, unambitious is not something that should absolutely destroy, and neither are the loyalties, because all the loyalty ones are the same. Like they mean that you don't have ambition. Then there's unsporting, which means you're a dirty little but you actually have pretty solid determination, so there's no reason not to sign somebody because they're unsporting. It goes right there. Very ambitious, I'm putting in the B spot because ambition does help you in a lot of ways in your competitiveness and in training and those sorts of things, but it also hurts you because you have to pay them a lot of money. You have to put up with them being annoying all the time about wanting to go to a different team. That can get annoying. It's not bad though, but it's not good. Ambition's one of the most ambiguous, difficult attributes to get a read on because we've confirmed it's not nearly as important for player development, but we know that it is something that contributes to just your overall ability to be a better competitor. And then there's very loyal. Huh? No. Why would you think that it was going there? What is wrong with you? How long have we spent together? It's B. Congrats, they're always really cheap and they'll always be with you forever. It's like Celine Dion in Football Manager form. But that's it. This is the definitive tier list of FM personalities. I'll see you in the comments and we will go to war. Or I'll see you on stream. See you there too. Okay, cool. Show's over. Go to the next video. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm probably doing something stupid in the intro. Go.